Hi, my name is Rachel Kutz. This is my 2014 Redken Artist Audition. People inspire me. The energy that they have, just watching everybody walk around. My favorite thing to do in life is to sit in my window and watch people. We were all born to be great. I want to help people unleash their greatness. I know Redken will help me do this. I remember the first time I walked into the exchange, I just felt at home. I was so comfortable. Everyone was so amazing. That's what I want to be a part of. That's what I want to do. I want to give people the same feeling that I got when I walked in for the first time. Redken is the greatest, most innovative hair company, which is why I want to be a part of it. My life really changed last year when I was diagnosed with cancer. Cancer saved my life. I got the opportunity to live for the second time all over again. I'm so thankful that my eyes were opened and I live each day for that moment, to be in the moment. Each day is so special to me. I want to give that back to other people. I want to show people how important each day really is. The Redken difference for me is Redken inspires, empowers, and educates hairdressers. I want to be on that journey with Redken. I want to help spread their message. Learn, earn, and live better. My inspiration for my audition was a bob, which is always a classic look, and each season it changes. And this is a little edgier of a bob, so I'm going to translate it to something that we can do in the salon, that we can wear that's not quite as avant-garde as this. I love the color differences going through it. Again, I chose something that we could wear that's a bit more client-friendly. So instead of blues, I did violet tones. Being that purple's really in season this year, I thought that was a nice marry between the two. So I'll explain now how I went about my process. For my color technique today, I did a dry brush technique with block sectionings on top of the head, alternating panels of 10 volume peroxide and 40 volume peroxide with lash lift lightener. Once I took that down, I did violet kicker to intensify the pre-lightened hair. For my overall glaze, I chose 3V to deepen and enhance the violet tones for an on-trend look. For shampoo and conditioner, I used colored magnetics to help preserve the violet tones that we just put in. Also to preserve them, I used the Strength Shot chemistry system. I did 2 pumps of the Color Extend and 2 pumps of the Real Control. Over top of that, I applied the Shot Fix 3.5 Fix Phase, which is for color treated hair. For my haircut today, I'm doing an 8-panel bob. The reason I'm showing you an 8-panel bob is because it's a principle-based haircut. This allows us to create, recreate, and communicate. Principle-based education is the heart of Redken's philosophy. The first thing you need to do is sectioning. In order to section, you need to find the high point of the head. This is where all your section begins. We're going to place the comb on top of the head. Where the comb sits is your high point. This is how you're going to section. You'll find your first section here. You section from center to front, center point to center back. Then we'll find top of the ear. I'm going to go from the high point down the top of the ear, section that. Normally you'd always want to stand in front of your section, but I want to step back so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to get your basic 4 quadrants first, which is your center point to center front, center point to center back, and then center point to top of the ear on the right, center point top of the ear on the left. And those are your 4 quadrants. And we have those 4 quadrants. We want to find the bevels of the head, being that it's an 8-bevel bob. It's an area that lives between 2 points. So these are your 2 points. In order to find the rounded edge, take your hands from that round and you create an angle. You're going to go in with your 2 fingers. This creates your point. The bevels live in between that. I'm going to take my section, you would continue that on the other side as well, and then that would create your 8 bevels. So being that bevels 4 and 5 are been previously cut, I'm going to start in bevel 3. In order to get my guide to start bevel 3, I'm going to borrow a small guide from bevel 4, from the center point all the way down. When you take each section, you want to make sure that you can see your guide through each section. It's very important. The tool that I'm going to use for the back is my straight shear. So you want to have 1 finger distance between the neck and the hair that you're cutting. This is going to create a slight elevation because you're 1 finger distance out from the neck. So you can see your guide all the way through. Straight. So you want to make sure that you're cutting eye level to each section. So this is important to be exactly where you're cutting. And the other thing is you want to make sure that you can see your guide completely through. If it's too much hair, drop some out. Losing my tension, so I'm going to recomb. You're going to continue this up the entire bevel, and then we'll go on to the next section. So we finished cutting bevel 3. We're going to move to bevel 2. We're going to borrow our guide, just like we did before, from our previous cut section. When we're done cutting this, we're going to clip it out of our way. Again, I'm going to do straight sections. I'm going to work my way up the section again, straight line. You want to use very long, lean cuts instead of short jabs. We get a nice, strong, clean line. Which is the reason you're choosing this tool in the first place. Nice, straight, clean, sharp line. Losing tension, so I'm going to recomb. Finger position is straight. In front of the section. And cut. My next bevel, bevel 1, I'm actually going to change my tool. I'm going to cut with a razor. Remember what our inspiration picture looked like? Had a lot of wispier texture, a lot more movement. Being that this gives us a straight, sharp line, a razor will open that up and gives us that softness. Not that we're going as wispy as our inspiration piece, but we'd like to replicate it a bit. So same, I'm going to borrow a piece of my guide from the previous cut section. Clip that away. This one I'm going to cut on an angle, on a diagonal forward. Because I'm going to have a diagonal hand position. Because I want to have more length and more weight in the front. So being that my hair is on a diagonal section, so will my fingers. Carry the same. drop half that hair out. It's too much for my hand to hold. Here's my guide. I'm going to overdraft this back. Get my angle, drop past the previously cut hair. Make sure my hand position is on a diagonal. And I'm going to use the heel of the blade. And here's my guide. And diagonal down. Same with the next section. My hand's on a diagonal, following the parting. And find my guide. Drop past it, use the heel of the blade. And down. Next section I'm taking, I'm going to take another one. Want a little bit more of a visual guide. Diagonal forward. Hand position is same as your parting. I can see my guide all the way through. The heel of the blade. Nice strokes. It gives it some openness to it, but still has a solid line. The last section. Hand position's the same. My guide, go right through. Perfect. So the last panels are your fringe, which is in the front. And our inspirations fringe was very, very, very short. I don't know that everybody can wear that in the salon. So I'm going to do a technique that you'll be able to take back with you and do every single day, which is awesome. Okay, to create my fringe, to create shorter and to longer to frame the eyebrows, I'm going to show you a technique that I learned from Sam Bean. So I have my section, and how I'm going to get the perfect bang, I'm going to twist in half, put it back on the fingers that you first started, get where your guide, you want your guide's exactly to be. I'm going to take a scissor, let go, release, and it's perfect shorter to longer frame. And perfect bang every single time. So I'm going to blow dry first and then go back in and detail the rest of my haircut. With this I'll use texturizing shears. I'll be able to see where the weight is after it's dry, what I want to break up, what I want to move, give some more airiness to the sides if the razor wasn't enough, and to flatten out the back if I like. So I'm going to start applying pillow proof, blow dry. Every client should start with this foundation product. You want to pick up the hair and spray it all through in the hair. You don't want to just get one side, the top layer. This will have a thermal protectant in it and help with the drying time. Work that in. And I chose Velvet Gelatine. It's also my favorite product for myself. It gives a very velvety, soft finish, a cushion blow dry. So you still get some nice height and a nice texture with a polished look to it. And it's a 0.7 hold, which is a lightweight hold, nothing too strong. Always start in the back, work your way out, and then move forward when you're with your application. You want to use your hands almost like a big comb, distribute the product evenly throughout. So with the bang section, I'm just blowing with using my fingers, so I'm not getting any elevation at the root. I'm moving the root direction down. This way, there's no pop-ups, and I'm manipulating her natural hairline, if she had a natural hairline, that is. Another great tip is to actually wrap the hair around the opposite direction. You'll get more height at the root, and it will be a polished, smooth effect when it comes down. So you have that nice round shape from the other side when you're wrapping it. And I'm just finger drying it to get most of my direction, change the shape, and then I'll polish it with the brush to the mid-shaft to ends after most of the water is out. And of course, what you do to one side, you do exactly to the other. So I'm going to duplicate everything on the other side. I'm going to use my round brush now. Polish the ends. I'm going to pull all of this straight forward. So when it goes back, it collapses and just has a slight bend through the very ends. You always want to make sure that you're pushing the grain down, close. You never want to go against the cuticle. You always want to smooth the cuticle down. This will help with any kind of flyaways or breakage to the hair. Make sure I change my position so that I can push this hair forward just like the last side. Make sure everything's exactly the same. Now that I'm done blow drying, before I finish my styling part with the flat iron, I'm going to texturize my haircut. I've already done this side. I pre-did that for time's sake. But I'm going to texturize this side now. Give it the same wispy, airy feeling through the ends. Mimic our inspiration shot. Make sure it's combed out nicely. Even part. Don't want to cut anything I've already cut before. I'm going to start in the back and then work my way forward. Through the back section, I'm going to do diagonal section slices, one each side to overlap. This way, it gives the hair movement, side to side movement. Make sure you can see. I didn't close my shear all the way because these shears take about 40% of the hair that's there. They are Samvia 6-inch texturizing shears. So next section. I'm going to follow the same diagonal as my line. Just one more, it's a little heavy here. Perfect. Nice and sleek. Takes all the weight out and just has that nice line. Really soft movement. Now that the finishing is done, I'm going to go in with, of course, something to protect my hair from heat, which would be Iron Shape 11 hold, which is layered on top of the 07 hold now. Apply the heat protectant. I'm going to use my comb. Comb the protectant all the way through. Go up at the root. Always move the plates so you're not steaming your client's scalp. Be considerate. You don't burn them. And then just guide it all the way through. So my next section, I'm going to make sure I apply the heat protectant. Comb it through. Use my comb to guide the iron. Soft at the root. And just follow my comb all the way down. It really exaggerates the line that we placed in. By using your comb, you're guiding the hair too, so you get a nice smooth transition with iron. just as I did with the brush and the blow dryer, I over directed everything forward. I'm going to do the same with the iron. So I'm going to repeat those steps all the way through to the other side. My last step in styling is going to be the 2-day extender. This is really important for her blow dry life. Before she gets oily, I'm going to apply this all through the root. This is something she's going to take home with her too. She can use it tomorrow and then with her own blow dries that she does. So here is our end result haircut and the color. Before my client leaves, I'm going to escort her up to the desk. She's going to leave with these products, of course. She needs the Pillow Proof Blow Dry Primer, the 2-day extender. Those every client must have. And I'm going to recommend the Velvet Gelatin, and then if she does like to flat iron, the Iron Shape. I'm also going to have my client pre-booked appointment ready to go with a card that I'm going to hand to her for 6 weeks. Her bob can't go any longer than that because it'll lose its shape. So I'm going to see her in 6 weeks. She's going to get a reglaze and she's going to get a haircut. And then in 6 weeks when she comes back, I'm going to ask her how her products are doing. And then make sure she is using them correctly and understands them. So she'll have a pre-book and a product purchase. I hope that I was able to show you something new today and that you enjoyed the journey. This is my story. What's yours?